What's up, everybody? What's up? I think it's one of those nights where I need to address some stuff that was in the chat. Oh my God. Like, do people not realize I'm, no music, none of that bullshit tonight. We're going to really talk. No back screen, no fluff to make you feel good. This is the reality. This is the reality that I'm going to talk about tonight. It's the reality of preppers and the prepper mentality and the prepper bullshit and the prepper, well, I'm going to do this and I'm just going to kick your ass. And, well, it's all about the god day. Nope, I'm not going to say God. The gosh dang lead. And I'm going to have lead and I'm going to kick your ass. And, well, when the chips are all down, people don't realize that mistakes are going to be made. And these mistakes are going to be fatal. They're going to be fatal. They're going to kill people. Let's talk reality. Let's talk reality. You know, Sometimes I get really irritated when I see the chat and people are like, "Yeah, we only need lead. We need lead. We need lead so that we can take care of everything." You're freaking playing yourself. You're playing yourself. You're acting like you're Billy Badass or Big Bertha Butt Ass or whoever the hell you think you are. And really, you know, when it comes down to prepping, everybody better do the symbol we used to do in the Navy. Pull your head out your ass, all right? Pull your head out your ass. There's a lot of things that can happen in prepping. A lot of things. And I'll tell you what, we don't just prep for doomsday. We prep for economical disasters. We prep for food shortages. We prep for all these things, right? But the bottom line is this is I'm going to talk about the 7 biggest mistakes that preppers will make after the collapse that will cost them their life. It'll cost them their life. It may cost their family's life too. And once you make these mistakes, there's no going back. There's no going back. People always think that everything is all fun and games, and I love to laugh with this channel, and I love to laugh about things. But people are always talking about, well, if I just have ammo, I'm like the biggest badass prepper you've ever seen. And some of these channels, all they do is cuss, cuss, cuss to get their point across. That's not me. It's not me. But however you look at it, however you chop it up, right? I know that there's some of you in the chat right now that have big concerns about what's going to happen in 2024. And I do. I do have big concerns. I think one of the biggest concerns I have is about this fake sense of prepping that if I have this, this, and this, everything's going to be okay, you know? And it's the heat of the moment errors. The heat of the moment. Those little errors that there's no going back once that error's happened. That once you make this mistake, once you make this mistake, and I'm going to name off 7 of them, we're going to go into detail about them. But once you make the mistake, there's no going back. You will be screwed. Your family will be screwed. Your kids will be screwed. Your grandkids may be screwed. Your house may be screwed. And however the outcome is, it's all the same if you don't get on point. And I think that the biggest thing is in order to keep yourself from falling down that pit and having one of these 7 things happen to you is that you really have to be on point. There's a time for laughter and chuckling and bullshitting and all that. And honestly, if you can't take anything from this channel, tonight's the night to take it. Because so many times people have said, well, I'm just going to be a Billy Badass. I'm going to be Sola Bertha Bombeck, whoever the hell, right? And I'm going to do it all solo. I don't trust nobody. I ain't going to have nobody on my side. And preppers overall, the majority of people that are in the lifestyle of prepping, we're kind of distrusting. And can we blame? Can we really say that that's a terrible thing? Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you to the extreme. Yeah, but we can't. We're not, and we can't be. And going it alone, being this solo Billy badass prepper that you think you are, until you hold someone in your arms as they take their last breath, as they gasp for air because their whatever is blown off the side of them. That's when you're going to go, oh shit, I wasn't prepared for this. Mentally, spiritually, physically, nothing. And I got PTSD. And sometimes I let it rip on this channel because sometimes we need harsh reality. We need harsh reality. And, a lot of these people that said, oh, I'm Billy Badass Prepper on YouTube, and a freaking storm comes and they're running to the grocery store because they don't have shit. Like honestly. When the SHTF really occurs, when it's really full blown, and it's in our faces, man. I'm talking in your face. I'm going to tell you right now. When you're staring down the barrel of a gun, when the person is knocking at your door, when they've come in your back door, when they have your wife in a chokehold or your kid holding them hostage, that's when you're going to say, "Oh shit. I wasn't ready for this. Maybe I'm not Billy Badass Prepper. Maybe I've been running from channel to channel and I haven't been listening to shit." And going it alone is going to be the first thing that just you're going to be done. You're going to be done. So if you think that being a solo lone wolf is your shit, maybe you should go and make a channel that says I'm the lone wolf prepper, and then teach everybody how you think you're going to survive. Because sooner or later you're going to have to shut your eyes and go to sleep. Sooner or later you're going to need some rest. And if you think you're going to do it alone, the truth is there's safety in numbers. Be it if sometimes you don't think that you can trust people around you, you better figure out a way to utilize that person and bring them into your mag, bring them into your close net, and say, you know what, this person is this, this, and this, but let me flip it around and see some positive in this person. This person knows how to do plumbing. This person knows how to build. This person is very good with a weapon. This person knows how to plant a garden. And that's really, really important. Yeah. And I agree with you, Kentucky Survival. We have talked about it day in and day out about having layers of protection. And if you're an elder, you better have layers of protection a mile out from your gosh dang house. You better have protection as far away as possible. And even if not, even if you're not an elder, having those layers of protection, having to come down one more until there's your front door, you have better odds of making it. You have way better odds of making it. Because, you know, the other thing is you bring people in and maybe the watchman knows how to do this and Kentucky knows how to do this, and we complement each other. We help each other. And it doesn't have. I had a really in-depth conversation with a friend of mine today. His name's Shane, and me and him had a heart-to-heart talk. And he said, "KJ, do you think it's coming?" Do I think it's coming? Yeah. He goes, "Do you think that maybe we should get animals together?" Great idea. Honestly, he's got him, his wife, a brother, and they're okay people. I see his heart. And he said, maybe we should get animals and keep them out on your back five. And we could all feed them. We could all take turns watching them. We could all help with each other. He goes, people in town might need us someday. You take those people in and you complement each other and you use each other's skills. I may have different skills than Dragonflies has. Devil Dog may have different skills than the Watchman. But we got to complement each other and learn from those. And so one of the biggest thing is if you think you're going to go alone, you might as well just go out and sit at the edge of the road and wait for them to come and kick your ass. Second thing is preparing only for a fight above everything else. Only, I've been to prepping channels. All they talk about is gun, 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 gun. I need ammo, ammo, ammo. I need lead, lead, lead. Yes, you do need that. But shit, if that's all you got going for you, what are you going to do? Oh, you're going to be Billy Badass and go and try to take from other people. You're probably going to learn a lesson, a hard lesson. Come knocking at this door. Come knocking at anybody's door that it's around me. You're probably going to learn a hard lesson. I'm preparing just for a fight above everything else, and that's all your one-track mind is about. Is is going to get you in trouble. Once again, it's going to get you. You're going to get knocked off. You're going to get knocked off very quickly because you're not going to have. Oh, I got this bunker, and all I got is lead, and I got armor suits, and blah blah blah. All you're going to do is starve to death because somebody else is going to have a mag. Somebody else is going to have other people around them. Think about these things. I believe dogs are a great asset to have in a mag. One, for following prey. Two, for keeping people away. Three, their bark is wonderful. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. Big dogs are wonderful. Little yappers like we have, they're wonderful because they yap, 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 and they alert you to something's going on. Something's around. These two little dogs that we got, if they hear something outside the cabin, they're jumping off and they're running around the cabin and they'll show us exactly what door an animal or a person is at. And that's the truth. But if you're only preparing for a fight, that's it. After a worldwide collapse, you may very well find yourself having a fight for your life. A true fight for your life. Because, see, if you're only preparing for the fight, the battle, the fist fight, you can have so many other pressing issues that you haven't prepared for because all you've been concerned about is only lead, only fighting. And I'm not saying don't prepare in that way. I'm saying well-rounded prepping is very, very important. It's very important because there's too many preppers that have bunkers stacked full of guns and ammo and bulletproof vests and supplies for enough for an army. But when it comes to enough food and water, they probably don't have enough to last a week, if they're lucky. And then they think that they're going to go out and they're going to steal. And the other big guy, the guy that's a well-rounded prepper, is going to have other people with him. So you ain't going to be able to steal from the well-rounded prepper. And see, I seen the chat, and the chat was, just get ammo. Bullshit, man. Bullshit. You can have all the ammo and guns you want, but there's a lot more to prepping than ammo and guns alone. And I'm not saying don't have any. I'm definitely not saying that. But you don't want to be one of the people that's armed to the teeth, but yet you're starving to death. Because if you have an empty stomach, you're not going to go very far, are you? Maybe down the block, maybe out in front of your house to perish and lay down on the ground and kick your feet. That you should have listened about being well-rounded and making sure you had food, water, air, clean air. You know? I mean, those things are really important. It should have been a long time ago. It definitely should be. But there's a lot more to prepping. Because if your family, if your kids are starving to death, and you're starving to death, and all you got is lead, but yet somebody that's a well-rounded prepper, Devil Dogs, got 20 people with ammo, food, water, first aid, skills, they're going to kick your ass. And you can think that, protecting your family is very important. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. Make sure you get the whole picture. The whole picture is to be well rounded. Because after the collapse, if all you got going for you is some brawn, some muscle, you're screwed. You're screwed. If you don't have people around you to assist in other ways, you're screwed up. Wow, dude. Redwood, wow. And that's good, Devil Dog. That's good. You know, I think the other thing that's probably number three on the list is planning for a bug out that requires like you to be Superman to get to your bug out location. You know, if you think that, okay, me and Dragonflies were screwed, we got to get in our car and we're going across the country because we know if we get over there, we'd be all right. And you have to imagine 600 or 500 or 300 miles of pure hell. You got another thing coming. You got another thing coming because your super duper uh, plan has just went to shit when the roads are screwed up, when there's traffic, when there's riots, when there's chaos, when there's National Guard, when there may be military, when there may be bombs, when the road may be taken out. Do you want me to go on? You get it? You know, so many things could happen. Yeah. And the other thing is you know, you got this big, huge bug out bag, and that sucker weighs like 75 pounds. Trust and believe, I was in the Navy. When they load up your sea bag the first time during boot camp, you're saying, oh shit, I really got to carry this thing? And carry it for a few miles. Imagine trying to carry it 5 or 10 or 20 miles. Then you even got a bigger problem. You got a bigger problem. I know that there's a few people in the chat right now that have been very concerned, that have a really bad gut feeling of what's going to happen. And, you know, she's a wildflower. I want to take some of that stress off you. You know, you've been on point, and I'm not trying to call you out. I'm trying to lift you up. You've been on point. You have the gut feeling like I do. And many of you, how many in the chat have this bad feeling about 2024? If you noticed, I've been stepping up the live streams because I feel our time is limited on YouTube, on the internet. You know, my get home bag's 35 pounds, my inch bag is 49 pounds. And it also depends on your weight too, Kentucky. It really depends a lot on your weight. It also depends on your conditioning, and it also depends on how long you've worked out with that bag. If you actually can maintain that bag at that weight, right? I mean, just let's boil through the bullshit and talk reality. Uh, Kentucky, you're probably prepping and probably carrying a bag maybe for some other children or your or somebody in your family. You know, I've seen a Marine, a true Marine, and I've seen his get home bag, 1 pound. I've seen his bug out bag, 1 pound. No shit. Because if you have a small bag and you have the skills, then you can live off the land. We're not Marines. I'm not a Marine. I was a damn swabby. I wasn't really a swabby. I was an Airedale, but same diff. You know, I was Navy, and that inch bag starts to suck around 2 miles. So imagine 10 or 20, KY. Imagine 10 or 20 miles, folks. Right? Um, and I agree with you, man. Whew, I agree with you. Is they don't know. They don't get it. They've never been there, Devil Dog, and they don't freaking get it. Yeah, anchors away. You know, what I will say is this, is that, you know, I lived through a situation, some bad situations in the Navy, some bad ones. And one of them I shared with this channel, you know, where I held someone's hand that perished, that I held their hand while they took their last breath of life, and they were gone. You know, I'm going to put it out there why I have PTSD, like why I really have PTSD. It's because not only did they die and I held their hand and they were only 18, They were partially decapitated. Do you get the picture? That picture will never leave my head. That picture will be etched on my spirit the rest of my life. I've surrendered it up. I've prayed it up. But when you see that shit, that's when you know shit is real. That's when you know that your life is in jeopardy. That's when you know that you're hanging by the edge of a cliff, literally, and that you may not make it. And I'm telling y'all from my gut, man, if you think you're Billy Badass Prepper and you think you have superhuman capabilities, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. And then so many people want to get the gear and the shit, and they want to act like every time some prepper channel says, I got this, I got that, they run out and buy it. You're damn fooling yourself. You're being damn right stupid. You went and bought it, but do you know how to use it? Do you actually know how to use it? Right? If you don't know how to use it, what the hell is it going to do for you? It ain't going to do nothing but collect dust. You're going to look at it and say, well, so-and-so prepper told me to buy this. Well, that was great words of wisdom. Now I got a whole bunch of bullshit I spent all kinds of money on, and I don't know how to use it. And after the collapse, not knowing your gear, not knowing how to utilize your gear, not knowing how to work with your gear, not knowing what the hell it's even for, not knowing how to take and stitch someone up, not knowing how to take anything and make a tourniquet out of it, that shit will get you killed. That shit will get you killed. Damn right truth. You know, we're talking. And then a big one is not paying attention to how you're storing your food. So I watched the Prepper channel. They talked about how great they were, and they did this and they did that, and then they said, I'm gonna pull out some of my food and show it. They pull out a freaking rusty can. Literally, the bottom of the can falls off, and they're talking about they're a prepper. Are you shitting me? Let me eat some metal rust. That's great for my body. And after the collapse, trust and believe, there'll be some dumbass people that say, I got a can of beans, and the bottom falls off, or they look in it, and it's all rusted, and they go, well, let me just go ahead and eat that up, and it'll kill you. It'll kill you. It's the bottom line. You know, botulism will kill you in a heartbeat. Botulism will take you out if you don't know how to store and take care of your food right. And so you can have all the food you want. But it's a sad reality that stored food doesn't last forever. And stored food isn't going to get you through the catastrophe. You know? And that's the truth of the matter. And when I seen that prepping channel talk about how Billy Badass they were, and I got this, and I bought this, and I did this, and I was like, wow, I'm amazed. Until I realized that they didn't address any of their issues. They didn't address any of their problems. They just talked about how great and wonderful they were. Until they pulled out their canned food and their can fell apart. And I don't know about y'all, but botulism, I haven't read a lot about it, but I don't want to experience it because, well, it's another one that'll take you, yeah, straight to the ground. Yeah. And that's so true, Devil Dog. I mean, people can talk about, well, I got this and I got that and blah, 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 blah. And I went and bought this because this prepper told me to buy this. And they don't even know how to freaking use it. There's a couple prepping channels, and they should call themselves, I'm following you to doomsday. No matter what you tell me, I'm buying it. Because every time somebody on their channel says, hey, maybe you should buy this, they go straight out and they buy it. But yet they're on a fixed income. They're late on their bills. They're borrowing money from people. and they're talking about this shit too. And it's like, well, oh well, maybe you should quit buying all the bullshit and get back to basics. And you know, it's critical. It's so important. Yeah, and nothing against the guy. He does have some good intel. He does. Where he gets it, I'm not sure. But the big thing is buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. How about I would rather tell each and every one of you, save. Get out of the matrix. Pay off your debt. The less you owe, the better off you are. Buy that old clunker. Buy that point A to point B car. Buy a bicycle. Buy a motorcycle. Buy an old golf cart. Shit, I don't care. Those are the things I'd rather tell you. I'd rather tell you to get on point. Make sure that you know how to purify water upside down, inside out, and around and around. And that no matter what, you know how to start a fire. That even without matches, without a lighter, without any of that shit, you learn how to do it. And of course, there's a way. Of course, there's a way. You can take a plastic bag, put water in it, put it into a cone, into a sphere, twirl it up, and start a fire. Yeah, well, that's a big problem too, Brandy. That's a big, huge problem. That is a huge problem. Um, and I think the other big thing that's going to get many preppers after the collapse just is if they only prepare for one type of event. That all they think about is I got to survive a pandemic. I got to survive economic collapse. I've only got to survive this. I've only got to survive that. When it boils down to it, potato. Are you on potato flakes again? You know, I don't know what the hell to tell you, Watchman, other than you need to shave. But you might not want to shave. That could be a good camouflage. And that's free. Just keep on growing it. You know, it hard to find knowledge books out there. Oh, there's some great books. Great books. You have to be prepared for more than one single event. There's actually preppers that all they prep for is nuclear doomsday. That's it. There's other preppers, they're full blown doomsday preppers. They got their bunker, they got all kinds of shit down there, but I wonder if they have ventilation to be able to breathe, right? I think, oh, if y'all want to, I mean, this is, I don't know if y'all can see it. Maybe you can see it. This is shelf after shelf of books. I love to read. I've got like 5 or 6 shelves of books. These are really, I mean, and it's not all it's not all like just doomsday type things. This is one of my favorites right here. This is probably one of my favorites because it tells you like so many different kinds of projects you can do. And you just take one little project at a time and you do them, right? That's probably one of my favorites. Um, One of my very favorites, other than my Bible, of course, is all of my Dave Canterbury books. Um, this one is by Leon Pattenberg. This is Bushcraft Basics. But there's a whole series of these. And I have them up here. I mean, if y'all seen how many books, you'd be like, holy smokes. Uh, but I love to read because reading gives you the knowledge, and then keeping the knowledge with you at all times is so important, right? It's so important. I also got smell-o-vision. Okay. Anyway, y'all know I have to crack some kind of joke, but I think the big thing is getting the knowledge and retaining that knowledge. You're right, retaining the knowledge is like a really hard thing for a lot of people. That's why I have a lot of books. I mean, I can if something happens, I can just come over here to our library and grab it and go, and then I have my inspiration. Um, This is my inspiration right here. This is my granddad. This is my grandfather. And this is when he was a baby, 19, I think like 1910, 1908, somewhere in there. But that's him, and he he is an inspiration in my life. Um, Good man, hardworking guy. He painted houses until he was 81 years old. He never had a harsh word to say about anybody, and he was a prepper. He taught me a lot of things, but they didn't call it prepping then. They just called it living. They just called it living. That's all they called it, right? Um, I think that it's very important that you have the knowledge of the books. See, this is one that I'm reading right now, which is Bushcraft First Aid. Now, this is by the famous David Canterbury. Great, great series of books. If you can learn anything, bushcrafting can give you well-rounded things, and bushcrafting can also teach you to use the land, use things around you, instead of thinking that you have to always go buy shit. You know, you buy a book and open up a world of knowledge. And that, like, probably out of all my books, this series of bushcrafting books, I think I have 5 or 6, is probably um, one of the best things that I think anybody could have. Because, uh, oh, Watchmen, you don't even know. You don't even know Watchmen. And of course, like, right here is, where I start my day, right there, Watchmen, right there. Every day, this one almost whole shelf at the top is all biblical, and this is all biblical right here. Um, I think being centered and knowing that in your life is very, very important. I think that, the last thing that I want to talk about is not only preparing for just one event because it's going to get you whacked off and you're going to get done, right? It's making yourself a target. And I seen someone do something really stupid the other day on YouTube, and it's a prepper channel. And I was like, why? And I did something kind of stupid the other day too by showing anything that could make you a target, right? You'll be surprised at the things that could make you a target, but especially after the collapse, um, making yourself a target can really, really cause yourself a lot of headache. We've talked about it before. If everybody's in a sweatshirt and you're wearing a suit and tie, you better have means to get that stuff off. Thank you for coming, Scully. You better get the means to get that off and to go gray man. If you're driving a Bentley or a Cadillac or some nice, nice vehicle and everybody else is driving pieces of junk, you have made yourself a target. You've really made yourself a target. Um, yeah, the Lost Ways, that's what we're going to start, Tamra. And actually, who is it? Surviving Behind Liberal Lines. Email Dragonflies. As a member, you get a downloadable version of Lost Ways 2 and Foraging free of charge. Download them, print them out in notebooks. Um, Print them out in notebooks, and I'll show you one of these like me and Dragonflies do here. I'll show you. Hold on. This is what we've done. Um, we've done this for quite a while. Like this one, right, is Safe Water School Manual. It's all about how to turn salt water into safe drinking water. This is all about water, water, water. And so you can do the same thing. We just get 3-ring notebooks, and we just print them out, put them in the 3-ring notebook, label them, on the side so that you have them handy dandy to use, right? That is a benefit of becoming a member. So if you're a member, right, and you have not got the Lost Ways, just email Dragonflies. She'll send you over the link, and you can download it, and bada boom, bada bang. You just saved yourself $80 to $100. This book, for example, is a safe drinking book from Antenna Water. So we find all different things, and we just like this all goes into water disinfectant, how to disinfect water. Being that we live on a cistern, we try to make sure that we have books on all different things. We have the lost ways, we have safe drinking water, we have foraging, we have first aid. She has canning books, and we just put them in 3-ring binders. We also have a book that keeps our inventory of all of our preps, what we do have, what we don't have, things like that. You can renew your membership by just clicking the super chat button at the bottom, and it just says, I think it says membership. You can just do it that way, I believe. Um, but making yourself a target, especially in a disaster scenario, sometimes a lot of people will take on the mentality, right, um, of criminals. And I think that when we see a total collapse, I think that that's what'll happen, right? Um, when there's no doctor and when there's no dentist, all free online. Well, you might not have online capabilities though. That's the big other question is, I've been saying this, I got 2 pulled here. I have 2 more to get pulled that are damaged. Dragonflies is next. She's getting 5 pulled actually in a week, right before my birthday or right after my birthday. She gets 5 pulled. But I think that it's really important, right, that you don't get set in this mentality of one scenario, one thing, and it will cost you your life after a catastrophe. It will cost you your life. And making yourself a target is number 7. That's my 7th thing that I think is really really going to cause people after the major fall. It's going to cause people to get killed. And tonight is, one of those nights that I needed to let it out because I've seen so many people talking at OTWP report that, oh, I do this, I do that. And all they were talking about is weaponry, weaponry, weaponry. And I'm sorry to tell you, if that's all you got going for yourself in the prepping community or the prepping arena or the prepping life, you're probably screwed. You're probably screwed. And just like I said a little earlier, if you've never had a bad situation happen to you where it's life or death, where you're staring down the face of a barrel, or you're holding someone while they die, or you are in a major explosion and there is carcasses around you of people, you know, maybe you shouldn't be living in the Mad Max prepping world of bullshit. Just saying. What's up with the caravan coming of people across the border? I'll tell you what's coming. Let me expand on this since I'm in one of those moods tonight. Just to be blunt and honest, they're coming here to kick your ass and kick my ass, and probably to kill and decapitate and who knows what else. They're coming here for dangerous reasons. I'd say there's very far and few of them that it worries me, it concerns me, and I think that there's a lot of trouble coming. I I'm concerned about it for people. I'm concerned about the things that can happen to people, to women, to children. Um, I think there's going to be a lot of lone wolf situations, and I think the more we see the lone wolf situations, on a serious, serious note, is that we're going to see more and more crime. And they're coming here with their hand out. They're getting freebies. They're getting hotel. They're getting gift cards. They're getting all these things. And is there any stopping it? I don't know. I doubt it. Not right now. And everything that's happening is meant to happen the way it's happening. We're living in very interesting times. I think the day of reckoning is coming for the United States. And I think a lot of things that the United States has put out, not necessarily you or me, but the government and the doings of the government, are going to come back and bite us in our ass. That's what I believe. That's my personal take on it. Um, some people may think that I'm being too harsh tonight, but I think a lot of jobs are going to be taken by them. I think um, I agree with Truthful. I don't think that there will be an election. And I agree with Raven wholeheartedly about this subject a lot and how everybody always wants to talk about fighting. I think someday it's going to be right in your face and you're going to wish that you hadn't said that. And that's being honest. Um, Doug's in the chat. We've talked about it before, and Doug's allowed me to share it before. But Doug was, I believe, shot and not stabbed. I think he was shot. And he was blessed. He was lucky that he got up, and he was lucky he made it home to his family. And I know there's some other people in this chat that have had near-death experiences, being in the military or maybe being a first responder or being a victim of a crime. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't matter how cautious or how careful you are, you could be right in the middle of the shit show. And that's something that we all have to really consider is that, you might be the most cautious, careful person. Um, yeah, I agree. I agree, Devil Dog. And I think that it's coming, and I think that it's going to come hard to the United States. And I think that we're going to have a rude awakening of how pacified we've been, how much we've capitulated, how much we have just capitulated the things we believe in, the things that we never stood up for, even though we believed in it and we knew they were doing wrong. And I think that the United States is going to have a very rude awakening. Will it be in 2024? I don't know. These things have been set in motion a long time, way before our time. As my mother said, is that we're the crusaders now. Her generation, she admits they made mistakes. They weren't aware of really the corruption as much as we are now. But you have to also look at the generation and what did they have? They didn't have computers. And that's why they want to shut people down and shut people up is because media, mass media, social media can get the word out very quickly about things and they don't like it. Um and I agree. I agree. Yeah. Rude Awakening is putting it very nice. It's putting it very nice. I think that when it really boils down to it, we have all these Billy Badass preppers and Bertha Prepper, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I think it's time to do it and not always be talking about it. I think that when it all boils down to it, honestly, these things could cost you your life. And we just talked about the 7 things that could cost you your life. And I think that people need to get on point. They need to be around a well-rounded prepper. And quick, we don't even need to call ourselves prepper anymore. What we need to call ourselves is the new crusaders, the people that are resisting the overreach, the people that want to stand and not be taxed on every time you turn around, and not have be pushed ideologies and things that we don't believe in, and them tell us, well, you got to believe it anyway. I don't have to believe shit. I don't have to believe none of your chaos or your bullshit. None of it, right? Well, that's interesting. You know, and I think we're the last one standing. I think we're the last one standing, and we've seen people around the world in just up in arms on the streets. And where have we been? We've been over here sucking our thumbs. Yeah, everything's okay. Everything's not okay. This isn't just affecting the United States. This is affecting humanity around the world. We have people from Australia here, Germany, the Philippines, Asia, Japan, all over the world that come to this channel. And they're telling us what's happening in their country. Miss Needle was here and she was talking about they can't even get candles in Germany. It is time for people to be a well-rounded prepper, to be living it, not just talking about it. Sometimes you see me a bunch and sometimes you don't see me at all. And when you don't see me at all, trust and believe. Me and Dragonflies are on a freaking mission. We are living a water situation that I never thought I would be able to ever do. But we're doing it because we need to see what it's like when you can't turn on the effing faucet. When you can't say, oh, okay, let me turn on the faucet and just run water. And those things, those experiences, are the things that are going to make you well rounded to be prepared for all kinds of things. We actually put up our solar shower in our shower to use it and figure out how to use it. And I've used it once camping, but that's like, oh, okay, I can still go to the bathhouse. We are doing things because I believe our biggest obstacle in this cabin is water. And without water, we'll frickin' die. Without water, you will perish. And people don't take it serious enough because people are spoiled. People are spoiled in the United States. And I think that when it really boils down to it, the spoiled, pacified, capitulating Americans are about to get the, kicked out of us. I think that we're all going to feel it. And I think that it's going to affect each and every one of us in a different way at different times. But my big concern is that you will not have this online mag. And if you have been dragging your feet and you just, oh, I can do it tomorrow, I can do it tomorrow, your tomorrows are almost up. That time is almost up. You can see people in the chat on this channel and any other channel saying it again and again and again. Get your shit together. And how many of you right now in this chat, lurking or here, believe that the time is short for America to be standing? I believe that 2024 is explosive. I believe that 2024 is going to show us really who's in charge. And it's not the people in DC. I agree with you. We save our plastic bags, we recycle, we repurpose. I have stacks of stuff in different in different places. And I'm telling you folks, you think the Great Depression was bad? Wait till it hits our home front. Full blown. 2023 has been a lot of shit. Wait till 2024. Wow. Wow. And I agree with you, Devil Dog. And we have to keep reaching out to people. We have to keep reaching out to people with the truth and the reality of what's about to occur. And we're gonna be living, we're already living in dangerous times. But I think we're going to be living in explosive times. I think we're going to be living in times where we see lone wolves come in to the Pizza Hut or come into your kid's school. And I'm not trying to be downer. I'm just trying to tell you reality. And what I went through when someone died, I think we're going to see way more than that. That's my honest gut feeling. And the best thing we can do is be a well-rounded individual. A well-rounded individual. I think we got something coming, folks. And I think that people feel it in their spirits. I think people feel it in their dreams. I think people are feeling it when they wake up in the morning. And whatever's supposed to happen will happen. But it doesn't mean that we walk around in fear. It doesn't mean that we bow down and capitulate anymore. Yeah, yeah. People are suffering financially. But I think we have a lot more than financial worries ahead of us. I think we have a lot more. Yep, exactly, Simon. Exactly. Raven, I love you, sister. Get that spear gun. We're all gonna need to go fishing. That's it. Yep. Crossbows. Electric nail gun works too. It is gonna be interesting. It's already heated up. It's heated up beyond belief. And I think the big thing is there's so many people in the United States that are still living in their happy little bubble. That's not gonna happen here. This ain't gonna happen here. Hmm. And when it happens, some of them still won't believe it. They'll just walk right into the middle of chaos and be like, "Oh, I just got stabbed. Ouch." Oh, I mean, like honestly, we have some people like that in this country. It's going to take a whole hell of a lot for them to wake up, if they ever do. If they ever do, they'll say, "Oh, come on down to the Phoebers, the Phoebe, the yeah, to that, to that, to that, yeah." And they're gonna say, "Come on down to that," and when you get here, you get all the food you want, and all the this and all of that, and the next thing they jumping on that happy bus, like, "Okay, let's go." I'm in for the free ride of America. I don't know about y'all, but you know, yeah, exactly. That's funny. You can sing. Yeah. Yep. And that's why I brought this live up tonight. I think so many people are living in the Mad Max. Oh, I'm Mad Max. It's going to be a fabulous, fabulous time. They think they're going to the Hilton, truthful troll, and that's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. I hope that each and every one of you has a good night tonight. I just had to get it off my chest because I'm tired of seeing preppers and prepping channels talk about, well, I got ammo. I'm good. You're not good. You're not good if you only have ammo. You're not good if you only have food. And you got to be well rounded. And you got to keep your boots on the ground. And you got to keep doing the things that are going to make a difference for you and your loved ones when the shit's real close and came through those layers of protection that we've talked about. You better be ready. I hope that all of you have a great night. And most of all, I hope that you keep prepping. And I hope that you prep your spirit. I hope that you mentally get yourself ready and physically do anything and everything you can to get healthy. It's really important. Um, I know I probably came harsh at some of you. Are probably like, but sometimes it's needed. Sometimes it's needed. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. You're welcome. And sometimes it's just good to let it out and let y'all know how I'm really feeling about stuff. And I guess tonight was one of those nights. We do have a report tomorrow morning at OTWP Report. I hope to see you then. Right now, I'm gonna go drink a beer while I can. No, actually, I'm gonna go have a cup of coffee, I think. Yeah, about him singing? Oh shit, I didn't see it. You can't do it. Yes, do it. And just do it. Just do that. You're welcome, Leo. I think so too. I really do. I think they're playing games. And y'all do the dang thing. Don't give up. Don't give in. And she's Wildflower. You know I love you, and I love all of you. You're my friends. You're my family. You're the OTWP mag, and most of all, we are keeping it real. We are keeping it real. And the reality that I just spoke tonight, I hope you let it sink in. And I hope that you don't walk around in fear. That's not what we want to do. We don't want to walk around in fear. But I'll tell you what, you definitely don't want to be the prepper that just goes out and buys shit just because a prepping channel tells you to. Get down to the basics and be prepared for anything. And I know I like to cut up and y'all like to pick on me, but sometimes there's a time to be serious and there's a time to be having fun. And I think that the fun times are probably going to come to a very slow stop because I think I want to do as much as I can to help people. And I want people to realize how serious the situation is that we're in. Am I scared? No, not right now. I'll be honest, not right now. I'm not. But when the shit comes to your front door, we all might feel different about that. When you watch someone perish in front of you, you definitely might not be scared, but mentally it's gonna mess with you, and that's just the truth. You know, there's no way that anybody can prepare themselves to watch somebody they care about or love perish in front of them. Be it even during a natural death. You know, let me close it on this. Even in a natural setting, when you know someone's ill, it's hard as hell to watch them perish. So imagine if they're not ill. If it, you know, really let this sink into your heads, folks. They're not ill. Everything when you woke up in the morning was perfectly fine until it happened. And when it happened, that's when you realize you were fucked. Just saying. That's when you realized that your whole world, the whole USA that you believed in, was totally turned upside down and that there's no going back. So the things that we do today are going to affect our future. The things that we do today to prepare are going to affect the outcome of our situations individually. I can sit here and talk to you, but I can't do it for you. And the only one that can do anything for you is you. Learn the skills, read the books. Don't go buy all the shit. Don't fool yourself that just because I bought this shit and that shit, that I'm okay. Because the shit ain't going to save you. The shit is not going to rescue you and throw out a life preserver. Being centered, being focused, putting your boots on the ground, learning the skills day in and day out, living the life and not walking in fear and walking in faith is going to get you a hell of a lot further than pussyfooting, bullshitting around, thinking that everything's a damn joke. Each one of us has different situations that are going to happen, be it on where we live, the environment we're around, how many people we're around, if the attack would come directly at you. We all have different things. And I can't prep for you and you can't prep for me. But what we can do is while we have the opportunity, be it if we have this year, next year, 6 months, or tomorrow, is to lift each other up, to share knowledge, to share skills in the chat, and to be real. And to not talk the chaotic bullshit. I'm Billy Badass Prepper. Because you'll be the one that'll be boo-hooing, crying your ass off when the shit comes down. Remember, when it all happens, when this country completely falls, the only thing you're going to have is the people around you. And I hope that you have some people. Because otherwise, you will fall into one of those 7 that I just spoke about. Y'all, God bless you from here in the Ozarks. Just keeping it real tonight. God bless you. Do the dang thing and do it daily. Until I see you again, my friends. It's OTWP. And remember, a 2247 is really important. God bless.
Lost in your eyes, I go back inside my head, falling too fast. I can't wait another day. Can you hear me calling? I am losing all my breath, fading into darkness. We just need to find a if I go, would you follow? Would you stay around? Would you stay around? Can we make it till tomorrow? Are we out of time? Are we out of time? If I go, would you follow? Would you stay around? Would you stay around? Can we make it to